guys, welcome back to my channel. I feel like I haven't been on this channel for a long time. I've been doing personal reading, so I haven't disappeared off the face of the earth. I have a lot of picker cards to do in terms of Instagram reads, but I have yet to get back to everyone. I just want to say thank you for the birthday wishes and thank you for you guys' support on this channel. And a lot of you guys are so sweet. You went out of your way to support me on my other channel. I saw the comments. Okay, I saw the engagement. I really do appreciate you guys, to the moon and back. My birthday was really great, but it was very long. And I don't really like to celebrate my birthday for more than one day, but it just felt like there's too many celebrations going on to the point where I'm grateful, but I can't really sit and like really relish in the whole like I'm grateful moment because there's just so much to do. Like I went to Italy, Milan, and by the way, I went to the wrong part of Italy. I wanted to go to where, you know, there's fashion week because I love fashion, and I did not plan that well as I thought I did. I went to like the village side of Milan, you know, and it was really expensive. There wasn't any like Uber bikes or Ubers or not Uber bikes, Line bikes. I love Line bikes. There wasn't any of that. So I was like, oh my God. Yeah, my money was drained. And I went with my best friend. And we only went for a day, and the way we spent money, like over £500, we might as well have just gone for a week. It was a lot, and it drained my bank account. I didn't like it. I did not like doing that, but that was my fault. That's not Italy's fault. That's my fault. Oh, and then on my actual birthday, I spent it with my kids and my mum. I was meant to spend it with my partner, but then my flight, we missed our flight, so we had to pay even more money to come back because I was not organized. And then I spent my birthday again the very next day doing a performance, and of course watching my partner's performance, and you know, we just went on a cute little date. And then on like Friday, we did like a whole birthday celebration with everyone and artists performing for me performing. It was a lot. So by the time everything was all over, I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually grateful to finish that. Like that was just too long. And that's how you know I can't do dress changes for weddings. I can't spend like more than one day on a wedding. I'd rather just do something very tiny, probably invite like 20 people or less, and just have a very something small, because I don't like it. The attention on me is overwhelming. It's like I'm grateful for it. I like it, but I'm also afraid of it. And it's too much. So thank you guys for not disappearing, because sometimes when I don't be posting on this channel, like people be disappearing. And although I also have a side note, some of you guys don't like it when I do my readings in my room, which I understand, that's fine. Some of you guys say I don't show the pile selection, but I do show the pile selection. You guys just probably skip that part. So don't skip it. But then I realized it wasn't clear. Like someone in the comments made it clear to me that like, oh, okay, I acknowledge that you do show it, but because the lighting, or they said the filter doesn't allow you guys to see it properly. And that's a good point. By the way, guys, this does not have a filter. This is just me putting up the brightness up, because if I leave the brightness off, you won't see me. I am black. So I'm glad we cleared that up. All right. So I have 5 piles. This video was requested by Rifa_dot. So shout out to you. We have 5 piles. We're going to find out, how does your professor view you? And we're going to keep it short and simple because I've got places to be. But we're still going to get straight to the point, okay? So pile 1, pile selection starting at 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Pile 1, we have Initiation. Pile 2, we have Equanimity. Pile 3, we have Harmony. Pile 4, we have Awareness. And pile 5, we have Maktoub. Okay, I hope you guys can see that clearly, because yeah, I'm gonna start now. So 4 minutes and 11 seconds, pile 1. You guys chose Initiation. Okay, I pulled less cards today because I just want to rely more on my intuition. Okay, so how does your professor view you? We have Awake, may you wake up to the beauty. We have Popular. We have I got bored. On the back we have I hate you. I don't think your professor hates you, by the way, so don't worry. We have air sign energy with the 5 of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and we have the 5 of Cups, water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. So 5 and 5. Okay. How does your professor view you or feel about you? What was the exact one? Think of you. Okay. All right. So your professor thinks of you as somebody who It's quite popular. Even if you feel like you're not popular, you may know a lot of people. You may get along with a lot of people. You know, it doesn't have to be like popular and like, oh my God, I'm such a big fan. But it's like, you know a lot of people, and a lot of people know you. A lot of people like you. A lot of people are willing to help you out. Maybe you're someone who can work with just anyone in your class. Like, you don't feel like, oh my God, I don't want to work with that person. That person's going to make me feel some type of way. Maybe you're the type of person where you're happy to work with anyone and everyone, and that's the kind of energy you're exuding, right? Like, you're easygoing with everyone. You can talk to everyone, okay? Your professor also views you as someone who you may zone out in the lesson. Like, you may look like you're getting tired or look like you're getting bored, because I got bored. We have I hate you. So I don't think that I hate you is gonna resonate. I feel like it's more so I got bored, because that's how it came out flipped. So yeah, your professor thinks of you as someone who zones out in the lesson. Like, maybe the lesson is not as stimulating to you, or maybe you don't get enough rest, so you may feel tired in the lesson, or they just see you daydreaming in their face, right? But they feel that you are someone who you put the effort and work in when it matters most. Why does this remind me of myself? And I don't even go to class for anything right now. I used to really like put in effort when it actually mattered, but when it didn't matter, I didn't put any effort. Okay, but your professor sees you in that way, and I only say this because of the 5 of Swords. This is like winning at all costs. So you may cram everything in study wise when you're getting closer to an exam, or closer to when the qualification itself actually matters. Like, say for example, if you grew up in the UK and you're just doing normal tests every year, they don't mean shit. It doesn't affect your life. But the moment GCSEs come around, that's when you're going to put all the effort, because GCSEs actually matter. You know, it's giving that. So it's like, your professor sees you as someone who will put in the effort when it actually truly matters. So if you have an exam coming up, or assignments due, or a dissertation to do, like, you will put in the effort. If you're getting graded for something, you'll put the effort. But maybe during the classroom, you're like tired, you're not really contributing in class, you're not putting your hand up, things like that. But we have the 5 of Cups. So yeah, your professor thinks that you are someone who's motivated by pain. So you may decide that you want to do really well in something because you just don't want to fail. You know, you don't want to be disappointed at your grades, you don't want to put all this effort and not get anything out of it, and that's your motivation, fear of failure. So it's like, you put in effort when it matters. And I know that may sound like obvious, like, yeah, who wants to fail? But you'd be surprised that people who are motivated by the opposite, they're motivated by being happy. So it's like, okay, well, if I do well, then I'm going to get this good job, or I'm going to go on holiday and treat myself, or my parents are going to be so happy with me, so I'll have to do well to make them happy. But then some people are the opposite, where it's like, I want to do well because I don't want to disappoint my parents, or I want to do well because I don't want to fail. I don't want to humiliate myself. I don't want to have wasted all this time and effort for nothing. You know, it just depends on what type of person you are. But your professor sees you as someone who's more motivated by like pain, as in like, I don't want to fail. I don't want to disappoint my parents. I don't want to mess up. So for that reason, I'm going to have to really, really hustle and drive. Like, you could be thinking about what could go wrong, like scared of failure, scared of like, oh, what if I'm not going to do well in class, you know? And your professor could pick up on that energy. Even if you don't have a conversation with your professor about it, they could just sense in your demeanor that, you know, something could be bothering you. Okay, we do have Awake. So yeah, again, this kind of reminds me of what I was saying. Like, you only put effort when it really matters. There has to be a fire lit up your butt, where it's like, okay, exam season, okay, cool, we're getting closer to exams, or we're getting closer to the end of the semester, we're getting closer, you know. It's only when it matters is when you're like, okay, now I need to take initiative, because this is initiation. So maybe you ask lots of questions, maybe you try to get as much clarification as you can, and you take actual action when it actually matters. So yeah, you're giving that sort of vibe, and that's how your professor is viewing you and thinking about you. They feel like you take initiative when it really matters, because you really don't want to fail. You're avoiding this, okay? And you're going to win at all costs, no matter what, even if it means staying up, so be it, you know? But in the actual lesson, your professor may think that you find their content a little boring, okay? But that's what I'm getting. I'm going to move on to the next pile. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you do want a personal reading, just email me, okay? Gonna move on to the next one. So 9 minutes and 35 seconds. Pile 2, you guys chose Equanimity. So how does your professor view you? You guys also got Greatness, so don't tell the other piles, okay? Yeah, we have Divine, May You Find Bliss. We have Blue Eyes. we have Leo, we have Star, Aquarius energy, and then we have the King of Cups, which is water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, so air and water. Right, so, all right, so how does your professor view you? You know what? Your professor has actually faith in you. Like, they actually believe that you're going to do extremely well. And I say this because of the star. The star can represent, I'm surprised I haven't blurred that out. The star can represent hope, dreams, and just being optimistic about the future, healing. So your professor sees you as someone who has a lot of hope. And I don't know if it's them seeing you as hopeful that you're going to do well, or they're having hope. But since the title is what do they think of you, they have hope in you that you're going to do very, very well. Okay, your professor also sees you as very perceptive with the blue eyes. Okay, I interpret that as like very perceptive. Okay, it's not to say that people with blue eyes are more perceptive. I'm just speaking metaphorically. It doesn't matter what color your eyes are. But like, yeah, they see you as very perceptive. They have hope. Okay, there's a glimmer of hope in yourself and what they see in you. They see you as very confident though. We do have Leo, and we also have greatness. So they see you as very confident in what you've got going on, confident in your abilities to digest the information and do well. We do have the King of Cups, so they see you as someone who's very grounded emotionally, emotionally mature as well. You seem to be like, say for example, if you're in a class and some people just don't turn up to their lessons, or some people may be a little bit like the class clown or whatever it may be, or some people will just come across as a bit like unserious. You give off an energy that you're very serious about your studies. Like, you're not here to mess around and be silly. You're here to learn, and you're very respectful, okay? Your professor also sees you as someone who's genuinely like a pleasure to teach. We do have divine, someone who's happy, cheerful, but genuinely a pleasure to teach. Like, this person just does not have a problem with you whatsoever. And then we have equanimity. So yeah, your professor sees you as very fair and balanced. So you're very easygoing, easy to get along with, but someone who's very confident in their skills, confident in what they're learning, and they feel like you'll go very far in life. I don't know if you go above and beyond, but they definitely see you as someone who's going to do very, very well, and you're very perceptive and very intuitive. Like, there's something about you that you may come across as older than your age due to your maturity, and like, your professor can definitely see that. Like, there's greatness in you and they believe in you. Okay. Yeah. They don't feel upstaged by you whatsoever, because you know you get this professor that feels some type of way when someone's upstaging them. Yeah, you don't give off a vibe that you do that. Like, they're very like, they feel like you're very wholesome. Okay, you're a very whole person. But yeah, it's a pleasure to teach you, and they feel like you genuinely enjoy being there. Like, you have a knack for learning. Okay, it's not giving teachers pet. Like, they generally just see your love for it. Okay, gonna move on to the next pile. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you do want a personal reading, just email me. Okay, so pile 3 is 13 minutes, and let's just make a synchronicity. Okay, 13. Pile 3, we have harmony. Okay, so how does your professor view you? Okay, we have rest. May you find moments of serenity. Why am I hearing, was that supposed to be about baby? So you guys could actually ask a lot of questions. Okay, like, what does this mean? Can you clarify this? You know, we have I like you. We have pride. Okay. Oh, okay. So maybe that me going like, what's that supposed to be about baby? Like, they may, okay, your professor may think of you as someone who has questions, but you may not actually answer. Like, sorry, you have questions, but you may not actually ask what these questions are. Okay, you may keep these to yourself, but you may look confused, or when they're marking your work or going through your work, you may look like you are not understanding a few things in the lesson, but you may not ask them for that sort of help. Okay, we have the Knight of Cups, which is water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Then we have the Devil card, which is Capricorn energy, earth energy. So what does your professor think of you? They think of you as someone who's very prideful, because we have pride. They feel like deep down you have a lot to ask. Like, you may be a little bit conflicted on a lot of things, but you don't come across like you're struggling or you don't understand the work. You come across like you know what's going on, even if you don't. That's what they're assuming anyway. Like, they feel like you deep down like want to ask something, but then you just don't end up asking. So it kind of makes them feel like, why don't they just ask? But they feel like you're too prideful to ask. Okay, they feel like you look confused in the lesson. But we do have I like you, so your professor does like you, and it doesn't have to be romantically, even though there's a Knight of Cups. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. Maybe they find you attractive. Let's clarify. Okay. Can we clarify the Knight of Cups energy, please? Let's clarify the Knight of Cups energy. Okay, we have the Five of Swords. Can you clarify the Five of Swords and the Knight of Cups? The Queen of Cups. Okay, for some of you, a professor may find you attractive. I don't know how you feel about that, because, you know, there could be an age gap, you could feel really uncomfortable, but they find you attractive. But I just thought that they like you was just coming more of a sense of they just like your energy, like they see you as someone who's unproblematic. They have nothing against you. But for some of you, not all of you, just some of you, and you'll know who this will apply to if you felt that energy. Some of these people are attracted to you. Okay, but if you feel like, no, I don't get that vibe from my professor, then that part is not aimed for you. I promise you. Don't make it fit. Okay. But your professor also thinks of you as somebody who is dedicated to some extent. With the Devil card, it's kind of like, yeah, no, I still want to do well, but you may have the struggle of just relying on them for support and be like, hey, like I need you. Like they may feel like you don't get certain things in the lesson, but you're not going to ask for a clarification. You'd rather ask like someone in the class and be like, hey, like, what did so-and-so mean by this? You know, because you may not like one-to-ones with them. Okay, we do have rest. So when you find moments of serenity, they feel like you like, forgive me, and please correct me if it's wrong, but they may feel like you do the bare minimum. Like you do what you need to do to pass and that's it. Like you may turn up for your lectures or turn up for your lessons and listen and digest, but it's like you don't really go above and beyond to like engage unless you have to. Like if it's not coming from you, like, yeah, because we have harmony, which tells me that you're unproblematic. Like you're very easy to teach because you're not really a problem person. You're not like an issue for them. But at the same time, I'm hearing passivity. So you may not go above and beyond to like really like put in the effort to engage. You may be on the quieter side, who knows? And you may feel like, why do I need to like talk about anything other than what I need to do? Like, you know, I just came in to digest and learn. But yeah, they may see it as pride, as in like maybe you need to talk to them more, but then you don't. Okay. But for some of you, they find you attractive. Okay. My partner's calling me, but I'm in the middle of a reading, so they're going to have to wait. Love you, but I can't answer it right now. But, yeah, they do see you as someone who does want to do well, though, and they do feel like you would do well. They feel like you have the work ethic and the drive to do well, but it's kind of like they're so attracted to your energy because they may see you as a bit mysterious, so it makes them want to know more about you. But then you may not be as open. You may not come across as open, but you are very diplomatic, and that's how they're thinking of you, as very diplomatic. But you may come across a bit mysterious, okay? But that's all I'm getting. I'm going to move on to the next pile. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. And if you want a personal reading, just email me, okay? So pile 4 at 18 minutes and 8 seconds, okay? We have awareness, okay? We have continue. May you trust this path. We have death. We have Aquarius. Oh, so it's giving Scorpio and Aquarius energy, which is air and water. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And then we have earth sign energy with the 3 of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Then we have fire with the 4 of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Well, technically all the zodiacs, right? So how does your professor view you or think of you, okay? Don't tell the other piles, but your professor sees you as someone who's very intelligent, okay? Like you're one of the smartest of the bunch, okay? Like, especially with this Aquarius energy, in my opinion, I think Aquarius people are the smartest of the zodiac, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but they come across as very smart, and they march to the beat of their own drum, okay? And I feel like, yeah, even if you're not an Aquarius, you may exude that energy. It may even be in your chart, but your professor sees you as someone who's innovative. They really like the way you dress, and they also really like the fact that you are different, unique, okay? But you could also be very helpful, diplomatic, humanitarian, like the traits of an Aquarius, but you're very smart and self-aware and very mature, okay? Especially with this death card, your professor thinks of you as someone who's always looking for change, transformation, self-development. Would this continue? Like there's progression, and your professor sees you as someone who's destined to progress in whatever endeavors you got going on in your studies. And they've seen progression. They've seen you from start to finish, start of semester to the end of semester. And they see you as someone who's very, like, you've improved so much because you are self-aware. We have awareness. You are very intelligent and you are self-aware of your places where you need to work on, and your strengths. You work on them. So they see you as very skilled, okay? Collaborative, supportive, creative, but very skilled. Almost to the point where they can see that other people try to emulate you a little bit more, or want to learn more from you, or want to be more like you in their lessons. But yeah, very skilled. Your professor has a lot of respect for you, and they see you as very grounded with this Four of Wands energy. So they definitely see you graduating or just doing well, and they see you as just very smart and very intelligent. Like, they like to hear, like, if you contribute in class, like, they like to hear your perspective on things, because they really do believe in you, okay, which is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, you guys should be absolutely proud of yourselves. Okay, so yeah, there's not really much to elaborate on that. Like, they just see you as very grounded, like, you just know what you're talking about. Even if the things that you are struggling with, they feel like you are so self-aware of what you need to work on, and you're going to work on them, you know? So, like, teaching you is a blessing. But you're very skilled. Sometimes they themselves may struggle with certain things, and you may actually help stimulate them and realize, you know what, like, yeah, I never looked at it from that perspective. Oh yeah, I need to work on that. Actually, it's giving that sort of vibe. Okay, but yeah, with the death transformation, you're always improving. They see the progression in you, and they're absolutely proud of you, and you're gonna smash it. Okay, that is how your professor is thinking of you. Okay, gonna move on to the last pile. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you want a personal reading, just email me. I know that was really short, but there wasn't really much to elaborate on. I didn't choose many cards, and I just wanted to get to the point. So, last pile, 2141, pile 5. You guys chose Maktoub. Okay, we have conserve. May you find the balance. We have Pisces. We have next year. We have, okay, I think this is a trigger warning pile, okay? We have the 10 of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and then we have the 2 of Swords, Aries, Leo, no, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, okay? Air sign energy. How does your professor think of you? Okay, your professor thinks of you as someone who is a little bit closed off, a little bit more quieter, because we have conserve. So they don't really know how to read you, and you may come across as very quiet. I am hearing studious, like, you are studious, but at the same time, they feel like you would benefit more if you were a bit more open with them, because they may feel like you're a bit scatterbrained at some point, because you do have Pisces energy, which can also be like, you know, in your head and in the clouds, you know, Neptunian energy, kind of spaced out sometimes. But they may feel, and this is a trigger warning pile, they may feel like, if you're stuck with something, like, they feel like you're not going to overcome it because you are so quiet, and you may not ask for their help or assistance. Or even if you do, and they give you some guidance and help, you may pretend like you understand, even if you didn't. And I'm not saying that's what you do, but that's what your professor thinks you do. Because when they're looking through your work, they may feel like, why is this person not progressing, you know? And they may feel like, because you're so scatterbrained, especially if this is university, for example, and you don't turn up to your lectures, they may feel like you're just going to pass as opposed to exceed in, like, getting a very high grade. Like, you may just pass, or worst case scenario, fail. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to fail, and they're not saying that you're going to fail, but they may feel like there's a chance that that could happen if you're not open enough with them for them to give you the full rundown. Because we do have the 10 of Wands. So they may see you as someone who's stressed out, or you have a lot of responsibilities, or if you're someone who you have children and you study, it could be that reason. Or if you're going through moving house or something, you have other responsibilities or siblings to take care of, like, or just your household could be a little bit dysfunctional. You know, as a teacher myself, sometimes you don't realize that this job is not just to teach you academic content. Sometimes we deal with people who are struggling at home. They could be in abusive situations, safeguarding, you know. And there's so many things, like a whole plethora of things that kind of, like, interflict with somebody's ability to fully be present, you know. For some people, it's having lots of siblings, you know, so they don't really get peace and quiet to study, you know, or they have other responsibilities, okay. But your professor sees you someone who has a lot on your shoulders, a lot of burdens, and you may contemplate whether you should continue this course or not. Or if you're in school and it's compulsory, they may feel like you're a little bit scatterbrained, and they fear that you won't do well. They're not saying you won't, but they fear that. Okay, because we have next year. So, if you're doing something that requires you to graduate this year, they may fear that you won't graduate this year and you will graduate next year instead. Or you may have to repeat something next year. Again, they're not saying that this is going to happen. So I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable or scared or worried. But they have a feeling that if things don't change, it may lead to that. Okay. But we do have Maktoub, so that's all about destiny. And it's almost like going with the flow because it's something's already destined. So it's kind of like they see it as like no matter what you do, if you continue at what you're doing, then it's most likely that you're destined to not do well, okay? And that's not them saying that that's going to happen, but they fear. That's like a fear that will happen. It may never even happen, but that's their worry, okay? And they just wish that you would speak to them more and understand and digest what they're saying, okay? They do want to go through things with you, okay? But they also feel like you're so like quiet, like they just don't want to bother you, okay? They don't know if you're a lost cause or not. And this is a trigger warning. I know this is not going to be resonating with a lot of people. So if you've listened to this and you're like, oh my God, that doesn't resonate with me, please choose another pile, okay? But that's what I'm getting. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you do want a personal reading, just email me, okay? Bye, guys.